Evening, Mike Haney, 60 Minutes of Black America. Test, test, test. It's been a while since we have done this podcast, stream, whatever it is that you want to call it. We are getting ready to start it back up November 9th. So we're just doing some tests all week and preparing to talk to America, particularly Black America again. Sunday, November 9th at 7 p.m. Heard from quite a few of you over the months, and it's always humbling when people miss what it is that you have. And as someone said to me Saturday, if there was ever a time that conversations and highlights of critical issues in the Black community need to be heard, it is now. So we'll come back Sunday and we'll just take it, week by week, see what we have to say. So much is going on in the world. I don't know how many of you got your half rations of food stamps as it came out today that the current administration is going to do. It said it would go ahead to what federal courts had said that the administration at the federal government could not. It was unlawful for the federal government to stop SNAP benefits for millions of SNAP recipients throughout the country. I was listening to a interview with this asshole Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Can you believe that this guy, Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama, used to be a coach? Was it Auburn? Yeah, I think he used to coach Auburn, and all the Black players he recruited. Dead straight up racist. Dead straight up racist. He said today in an interview that SNAP benefits should be cut and that the inner city people and Black males should go find a job. Now, he may have missed it and doesn't realize that most SNAP recipients in this country happen to look just like him, white people, because hunger has no color. But can you imagine the ignorance of the people that are deciding issues such as SNAP and deciding whether we pay air traffic controllers? And our skies are dangerous, make no mistake about it. I believe it was where was it at? Was in Atlanta somewhere. TSA waits were 3 hours to get through a TSA line because, what do you expect people to do? So I'm an air traffic controller. I got a family to feed. My job's already stressful enough trying to keep planes from colliding, already understaffed as a industry throughout the country because there's mandatory retirement ages because it is such a stressful job. And now you stop paying me. So I'm stressed on the job. I'm stressed at home because I can't pay my bills. I can't eat because you haven't paid me in 34 days. 34 days it has been since the federal government was open, right? And these workers are forced to go out and figure it out. So maybe some are driving Uber or Lyft or working in Walmart during the day because they have one of those jobs the federal government calls essential. So they got to show up for work, or else maybe they use their sick leave. But you use your sick leave doesn't mean that you're going to get sick pay because they're not paying anybody. I think they found money in some fund to pay our military folks, but short of that, and themselves. Oh yeah, man! Don't forget that these Congress people are getting paid. Matter of fact, the congressman from the 7th District in Maryland, Kwesi Mfume, did a letter 3 weeks ago saying, publicly, of course, because he's got to let people know what he's doing, that he is sending back in his pay because did you know what their paychecks keep coming? their paychecks keep coming. And these guys make $200,000. So many of them catch private jets. They don't have food issues. Many of them are multimillionaires. They continue to get paid, and they're making decisions on whether you get paid. And by the way, our president just got back from Asia on an Asian trip on Trump Airlines, whatever he calls Air Force One now, right? Because he doesn't have to go through the same system and setup as we do going to public airports because he has his own airplane, rightfully so. And then he goes into the White House. He doesn't have hunger pains. He doesn't have hunger issues. So do you think he gives a damn? And what he's doing, he's just trying to figure out what this $300 million, $300 million ballroom's going to look like. So if you ever seen an aristocratic, authoritarian state, this is what we're in now. So people are hungry, not eating, not working, not able to pay their bills. And here's a leader of the free world, our country, looking at plans to build a $300 million ballroom attached to the White House. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And you all elected him. I didn't vote for him. I didn't like the opposite choice. I didn't like Harris, but at least she would have spent too much money and gotten us further into debt. But at least I knew she wasn't going to be like this guy. And it just goes to say, you know, what's up with this two-party system anyway? I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Terrible Republicans, terrible Democrats. And if you don't believe me, what's his name? Throne, the leader of the Senate, and Michael Johnson. I don't know. I think he's something wrong with that guy. Down under, down low, below, whatever. Michael Johnson, the head of the Republican House, and Throne, the head of the Senate. Then you've got Schumacher or Schuster, whatever his name, the Democratic head in the U.S. Senate. And then you got Hakeem Jeffries. What a disappointment. In the U.S. House. 4 leaders, Democrat, Republican. Can we do better than this? Can we do better? I mean, what are our alternatives? What are our alternatives when we look at this, particularly as people that look for leaders with sensitivity and just a little wee bit of humility? Well, we're not getting any now. And so the fight goes on. Government shutdown, SNAP recipients, building a $300 million or over $250 million ballroom, one ballroom for people to sit and eat, drink, be merry, and have a good time while the rest of the world goes hungry. I don't know if this is the America that George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, Bush, Roosevelt, Truman, Jackson. I don't think this is the America anybody had in mind in the year 2025 or almost 2026. And then we declare war practically on Nigeria. After bombing ships or vessels in the waters of the Caribbean or just off the shores of Venezuela, and Donald Trump said that president ain't gonna make it, right? And hey, listen, I'm not going to argue with the war on drugs. Remember that saying, I think it was Bush or Reagan that declared a war on drugs. Well, Donald Trump is carrying it out. And I got to tell you that's something that I view as pretty good. That if there are cartels delivering through ships or vessels in Caribbean or South American waters heading to the USA, bomb them. True war on drugs. I don't know if that's what Bush and Reagan meant when they said war on drugs, but Donald Trump thought so. And, kudos on that, Donald. You are doing a pretty decent job on that. As well as you got to give him a bit of credit on stopping immigration. I mean, him and Obama was pretty effective in not allowing illegal immigrants in as well. But I think Donald Trump has taken it to a new level. But, a lot going on that we need to have conversation, discussion about. And this platform, this new platform I'm on now, I don't know how it looks visually out there to you, allows us a two-way interaction with the audience. So you and the audience will be able to either join us, communicate with us verbally. So you ask a question, participate in the conversation, because I think that's what's important. That's one of the things I missed the last time. Audience engagement, the audience ability to give their perspective and lend their voice to the conversation. But this new platform will allow us to do that. So a lot going on, a lot to discuss. And we've got the New York mayoral race, that Trump just endorsed this evening. Cuomo, Cuomo, the disgraced governor of New York. So when does it become that disgraced governors become options for mayor? We saw that in D.C. With Barry. We saw it in Baltimore with a couple of their mayors, and Detroit, Michigan, New Orleans, although all those were mayors of color, but Cuomo, ran fairly competitive. But again, God bless America, politics is a colorful game. And although I believe the Democrat, what do they call him, a social Democrat? Is that what Barry, Sanders or Sanders out of New Hampshire? Isn't he a social Democrat as well? Anyway, a lot to discuss, a lot to look at, a lot to unpack here. And we will begin to do that on Sunday. And don't forget about the gubernatorial races in New Jersey and New Virginia. If you're in those two states and you are eligible to vote, make sure you vote. We got Mikey Ciapparella, sounds like one of those dancers. The Republican, Mikey, the Democrat, running against Ciapparella, the Republican in New Jersey, a real tight race. And in Virginia, you'll have, I believe, the first woman governor of that state, and a Black woman Republican gubernatorial candidate that was the lieutenant governor of the Republican governor in Virginia. But it looks like the Democrats are going to take that. Is it a moratorium on Trump politics across the country, and the sign of that with these two gubernatorial races? Well, many people think so. Many people look at these two gubernatorial races, as well as the mayoral race in New York, as a mandate on ending Republican rule in the Donald Trump. 9 months. He's only been in office for 9 months, man. Hell, what does the next 3 years look like? But he's put in some work. Got to give him credit. He has put in some work, man. That guy, I mean, he has put in some work. Not that all work is good, because he ain't put in a whole lot of good work. I think I mentioned the war on drugs is probably the only thing positive. And of course, he stopped in 9 months. He stopped 9 wars, according to him. But yet, he's going to take us to war in Nigeria or in Venezuela. You know, I can't figure out that much. Anyway, like I said, it's just a test of the systems, test of me running my mouth, a test of us engaging each other. And I just want to play one more time because I love this song, this Emmy Award winning song that was written by Josh Evans, our theme song. One more time. That song, I love the clips in it. And again, Mike Haney, testing. Sunday, November 9th, we roll out 60 Minutes in Black America. A whole heck of a lot to talk about. Look forward to engaging you. As I mentioned, this platform allows us to engage with each other, bring you on, so that if you have a perspective and a view that you want to share with America, particularly Black America, we have a platform that now will allow you to do that. So, hey, we'll be testing all week. I'll be running my mouth a little bit for much of the week and intrigued as to who our guest is this coming Sunday to join us in conversation in addition to you. So, test for today, November 3rd at, what time is it? 7:51 is over. You all have a great evening. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday, November 9th, 60 Minutes Black America, relaunched at 7 p.m. on Sunday. Have a good evening.